I've been in the 3D rendering field for 4 years, and when I started out, I had no actual idea on how much money you can make through this skill. But to my surprise, in the first year, I managed to complete over 100 projects in over 30 countries. And if you watch this video all the way through the end, I will show you exactly how I did it. The truth is, most people ruin their chances from the start. There's this crazy obsession in the industry that in order to get started, you need to have some super complicated software that you use and an insanely overpriced PC. And honestly, that's what I thought when I started out, but lucky enough, I couldn't afford an expensive PC, so I had to get started with SketchUp and Enscape, which at the time, honestly, didn't have the reputation that it has today. However, that limitation allowed me to learn the software 10 times faster than any of my other competitors, and it also allowed me to deliver the work a lot faster to my clients. And this was at the cost of like 10 to 15% quality on the final output. When I started, there wasn't too many resources on teaching you how to make money with 3D rendering. So without further ado, here's my 3 methods that allow me to make 6 figures every single year through this skill. From my experience, freelancing can range anywhere between $80 to $30,000 per project. This can depend on your experience, it can depend on your skill, but most importantly, I believe it can depend from your sales and marketing abilities. Trust me, this last part is super important because I will bet you that there's probably 3 artists that are worse than you and me that make a lot more money than both of us together, and that's just because they're either good at negotiating, networking, or any other kind of business skill. Now, I am not saying that you should just throw the software out the window and just start reading sales and marketing books, which is doable also, but it's very helpful to kind of have an idea and understand how the skill works as well. Anyway, let's get into the money side of things. Here's 2 ways you can offer your freelancing services. The first way is where you charge per render or per project. Now, I understand that it's hard to kind of have a guideline on how to charge, but I took some time out of my day to ask what most 3D artists charge and how they actually do it. So I went on Behance and I asked 30 different 3D artists on how much they charge for the renders, and their answers were between $300 and $500 per render. And these were some intermediate to advanced 3D artists, which honestly is not that bad because considering that my first project was this mansion in California that I did for an insane amount of money. $80. I know that this absolutely sucks and it's not really worth it, but sometimes you just have to take it on the chin because in the beginning, unless you're very lucky or very good at what you do, you will not get very high paying projects. In fact, I would argue that in the beginning, even doing some free work out there is very helpful to kind of build up your portfolio or even get more experience in communicating with clients and stuff like that. Trust me, it is not very hard to get to 300 to 500 per render, but in my opinion, it's not the ideal scenario. So here's the second way that you can price 3D rendering, which is how I price as of now. For a long time, I worked on per project basis, but I realized that it wasn't as sustainable as, putting clients in a retainer or a subscription method. So basically what I do right now is that I charge clients $5,000 per month. They can send unlimited projects, but will not get started on the second project until the first one is finished. So here's why this is so good. You have income that you can count on, and you don't always have to seek new work after the existing project is finished. This also means that the client is not going to waste a lot of time in revisions because that takes time away from other projects that they could spend and use their money on. On top of that, this makes calculations for hiring a lot easier. Let's say you have 5 clients that pay you $5,000 every single month. Now you know that you can afford someone in a third world country to do the work for you for $1,500 per month, which is super worth it for them, and it works completely fine for you, which is what I usually do most of the time. By the way, $1,500 is a lot of money for someone who lives in a third world country, which considering it's very good payment where I live as well. Now you know that you can end up with $17,500 of profit every single month as long as you get 5 clients that pay you $5,000 every month. Overall, freelancing and providing services for 3D rendering is a very good viable option. Of course, it takes some time and experience with sales, negotiation, as well as building up a team, but in my opinion, it's completely worth it. Now, there's also some very good money-making methods with 3D rendering, which I think are super worth it. A very overlooked method that has helped me in my business kind of things in this field as well is online education. Now, you don't always have to follow the steps of creating an online channel and doing all of this online. and building everything on your own platform. There are some very good platforms like Skillshare or Udemy where they actually bring the traffic to you and they pay you for views or per people that actually buy the course. I know some people that make very good money with this kind of education platform, and basically what they do is they just hit upload once and they make sales and generate revenue from it. But trust me, having the skills will help you with any of these methods. So if you want to learn 100 tips in only 8 minutes for Enscape, check the video right here.